We're packing mad heat, I tell you. Friday is going to be the best in the regional championships. 400 to each side. I mean, it's going to be a wild regional championship, and for my show also. None of these people don't know it, but they will know. But there's going to be 400 each. 400 veterans and 400 Flower Bluff. What all can be done about this? Well, here's Channel 3 sports correspondent, Ashley Gonzalez.
Talk to you about the Google Pixel, this magic eraser feature, cleverly
And before we continue on, I want to be very clear. The only reason I'm going to be broadcasting from there is because you get a clear look at the clear bag policy. I think it's just a copy and paste from the NFL without the board approval. So here's Ashley Gonzalez.
Hornet Stadium is no stranger to a huge crowd. On Friday, Flower Bluff will host one of the biggest local playoff games in 2021 against Veterans Memorial. So, tickets for this game will be limited to the stadium's capacity.
$1,650 on each side. That is for Flower Bluff and for veterans.
Because of the buzz this game is whipping up, the host will add more bleachers and space for fans.
400 Flower Bluff, 400 vets, and then the standing area is going to be, that one's actually going to be 100 on each side. So 100 for Flower Bluff, 100 for vets.
The game will bring tons of people to Hornet Stadium. That's a given. This is why local law enforcement will be teaming up to keep extra eyes on all the people coming to enjoy the game.
So normally we have about 10 constables from Precinct 2, my police officers, additional to some of the CCPD officers. So this crowd being the size it's going to be, we're going to pretty much double in size as far as the law enforcement presence.
The tickets go on sale Thursday at 12:01 a.m. Flower Bluff
Which was about
ISD
an
wants to
hour
remind
ago.
the public that all tickets will be sold online only and not to show up at the school. Also, if you're bringing a bag, make sure it's a clear one. Ashley Gonzalez, 3 News.
And that's why I want to report from there tomorrow. You know why? Because I think this policy is a copy and paste off the NFL policy. If you were to compare the clear bag policy to the one Flower Bluff, let's click on this. 16, PVC. Let's compare this. It is a copy and paste. This is a copy and paste. This never went to the NFL, and all it did was just Control-C, Control-V. It's a copy and paste. That is plagiarism. And I deal with a lot of things around here on this show for 5 years, and I've never covered plagiarism. It's just a copy and paste. It's a thing that people use for basically anything, for like exams or for your completing assignments, but you never cite the sources. All the Flower Bluff ISD did is Control-C, Control-V. So, after investigating this is basically a copy and paste. And for those who are like, how do you know it's a copy and paste? Because I know. I know when someone presses Control-C, Control-V. Control-C is copy, Control-V is paste. I know a lot about computers than a monkey would. You get the picture here. But it is going to be a big crowd here at the Flower Bluff Stadium, and that's why I'm going to report there, do the broadcast there, just to give you a better sense. So be on the lookout for a special Cut Me a Break live from the regional championship at Hornet Stadium. I recorded there a year ago for the 2020 graduation ceremony. Because it is better security up there. They got a lot of security officers. I mean, they have like a lot of precincts, law enforcement officers. They have officers there because of the new police department program. And just basically, it's just that simple. I mean, it's just someone's following a clear back policy. I mean, yeah, I would bring my guitar case, but a clear back guitar case would not work. I just basically stay outside. As for the pep rally, I can't be sure. But enough about football, let's take a break. Next, there was a school shooting that happened in Michigan. We'll give you the very latest. Then we're going to talk about COVID and other more topics. We'll be right back. If you were watching the news all day, you would have realized that yesterday there was a school shooting that happened in Oxford, Michigan. Let's give you the very latest. So, there was a suspect in there, a juvenile, who had a gun. The suspect was charged as an adult. Suspects grabbed scissors for defense and escaped out the window. In a deadly Michigan shooting, the suspect has been charged with murder. And that left 4 dead with gunfire, yelling an urgent message on a loudspeaker. Just like out of shooter drills to practice pagers, the teachers would run and lock the door. Then students had to hide against the desk. I mean, we have all these lockdown drills in our area. There. So that's what he told CNN's Anderson Cooper. The suspect's lawyer entered a plea not guilty to this kind of Wednesday's arrangement. The judge scheduled probable cause for hearing December 13th and a preliminary examination hearing for December 20th. Ethan Crumbley was the person that committed that shooting. And in my defense, I told you guys, we can't be having any more school shootings. I mean, there's a lot of school shootings that are happening. We need to live in a world where people cannot bring guns. And that's a fact here. I don't bring guns. I used to bring a sword to school. A toy sword. And people found out it's a weapon. Anything is considered a weapon. If you considered years ago, I talked about types of weapons that schools do prohibit. Like screwdrivers, hammers, keyhole saws, which is basically tools. Every school district has a zero tolerance policy which says anything that can be used as a weapon is a weapon. One of the students was dead at 14. 4 students who are died have been identified as Madison Baldwin, Tate Mary, Hannah Saint, Juliana, and Justin Shrilling. He died Wednesday morning at a hospital. The others died Tuesday. The sheriff's office said Tate and patrol Colorado on duty was taken to the hospital. 7 others, 6 students and a teacher, were shot. The parents could face charges. The attack was daily as the U.S. school shooting since 8 students and 2 teachers were slain in May 2018 at the Texas Santa Fe High School, according to was attending 48 shootings this year on K-12 campuses, 32 of them since August 1st. Charges of the first degree, the suspect was being held in a juvenile detention facility. Boulder State authorities asked the judge to transfer him to a detention facility to the Oakland County Jail. The judge, and here's the thing, the judge agreed to that request. Charges of first degree murder require allegations of premeditation. Evidence said the shooting was planned well before the incident. McDonald's office will consider charges against the suspect's parents. The weapons we used in the shooting was a 9mm Sig Saucer SP 2022 semi-automatic pistol. It was purchased by the father on Friday, 4 days before shots rang out of school. Authorities are considering charges against both parents, with McDonald's saying the decision would be made that swiftly. Potential charges stem from parents owning a gun. And there was a video that says, there was a video about this, was shooting people at close range. Again, we need to make sure that all our kids are safe when it comes to these massacres. Nothing is being done. We need police officers. We need a police station, but nobody has the money for this. Flower Bluff and CCISD have their own police departments, have their own school district police department, but not Tulsa Midway nor Great Lake Portland. No, they'd rather just sit there and just let this happen. But here's the latest from ABC News.
Morning, people in Oxford, Michigan, north of Detroit, say they're praying for peace after police say a sophomore student shot and killed 3 classmates at school.
They deserve to be known, but they didn't deserve to die tonight. We're all a family, a community, and I think we really need to go through this together.
Police say the 15-year-old gunman killed a 16-year-old boy and 2 girls, ages 14 and 17. 8 other people were wounded, including a student now fighting for her life.
Tragically, we have a 14-year-old female who's in critical condition. It's looking very tough for this young girl.
Authorities say the shooter fired up to 20 rounds in 5 minutes as students and teachers used desks to barricade classroom doors. One student says this is a bullet hole in one desk. This video shows the moment students believe the shooter was pretending to be from the sheriff's office.
He said, bro, red flag.
According to investigators, the suspect surrendered with his gun still loaded, and they say his father purchased the gun last Friday.
It's my understanding, again, that this was a recent weapon purchase, that he had been shooting with it and had posted pictures of a target and the weapon. That's all part of what's being looked at.
Some students say they heard something was going to happen at the school yesterday. Some even stayed home. ABC News has obtained an email sent to parents in early November in which school officials said they investigated rumors of a threat to the school, but determined they were unfounded. Students say they're traumatized by the violence.
Always show your loved ones that you love them. Like, you never know, you could wake up one day and they won't be there, so you just need to appreciate them.
Investigators have not revealed a motive for the shooting. He could be charged as an adult.
But here's what we know. The suspect was a 15-year-old Michigan. Here's what we now know. Deputies were dispatched to the school at 12:52, and now we know the shooter. The shooter's name was identified as Ethan Crumley. He was a sophomore at the school. At 15, you don't qualify as an adult. You are a juvenile. He was held at the Oakland County Children's Branch Juvenile Detention Facility and later was transferred to the jail at 15. No, if you're 15, you are a juvenile. You don't send 15-year-olds to jail. That is unacceptable. If you're over 18, you are a juvenile. Juveniles are minors. Minors are juveniles. Get this formula. Well, the latest is this comes along. Now, how clean is your office? When we come back, we'll investigate. There are some things that can happen if you use your home as an office. And sometimes it may not be clean. So how clean is your home office? Well, we decided to investigate. Here's the latest from Inside Edition from 7 days ago.
Pixel 6 takes it to the next level with tools.
I mean, because of COVID, we've been just using disinfected area, disinfectant wipes, sprays, all kind of stuff. You gotta make sure you're doing this. So,
People are still working remotely, which got us thinking, how dirty is your home office? Lisa Guerrero did some testing, and the results are in.
So here's
Like
Chief
many of us
Investigative
during
Correspondent
the pandemic,
Lisa Guerrero.
Artist Laura Alcantara is still working from home. She even converted her kitchen into her home office and wrote this book right from her kitchen counter.
Do you ever wonder how dirty your home office is?
I try not to.
To find out, we swapped commonly touched items: her laptop, keyboard, and kitchen counter.
My computer's probably really dirty. Probably.
Then we sent the swabs to IEH Laboratories in Seattle, Washington. 5 days later, it was time to reveal the dirty details.
The results are in. Do you want to know how dirty your home office is?
I'm ready.
You're ready. Okay.
And the results
Fasten your seatbelts.
of the DNA test.
Oh, it's really dirty. You guys, the entire home office area is covered in germs.
Her laptop and keyboard had a bacteria count of 140 million. Her kitchen counter was even worse.
In fact, the bacteria count on your kitchen counter that you call your desk is 150 million.
What?
That's gross.
That is gross.
Yeah.
Experts say that's enough bacteria to make her sick. Next, we visited the Waldwick, New Jersey home of software engineer Katie Rowell. During the pandemic, she converted this cute little bedroom into her home office.
How many hours a day are you working from here?
9 to 5.
9 to 5.
And when it gets cold, Katie likes to wrap herself in her blanket as she works at her computer.
Here's your blanket.
To demonstrate just how quickly germs can spread, we asked Katie to dip her fingers in this harmless fluorescent powder and go about her day.
Germs are invisible, but watch what happens when we turn off the light.
Her entire home office lit up like a Christmas tree. Her fingerprints are everywhere.
So Katie, the results are in. Are you ready to find out how dirty your home office really is?
You know, I'm a little nervous, but I think I'm ready.
It may look clean, but the levels were really high.
Her desk had a whopping bacteria count of 100 million. But worst of all,
okay, bad news. We found E. coli on your blanket and on your laptop.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's gross.
It is.
So what's going on? Microbiologist and Rutgers University professor Dr. Donald Schaffner says lots of remote workers are eating and working at the same table.
I think the home office can obviously be a focal point for microbial contamination. The levels that were detected do give me some cause for concern.
Oh, it's really dirty.
According to a study at the University of Chicago, because people working from home are no longer commuting time in this country has been reduced by 9 billion hours.
Wow. So what can you do? Well, first, you need to you gotta have a complete clean checklist. Your bookshelves, your desks, dust the computer off. If you're using a laptop, it could probably be the same thing. Dust the surfaces of filing cabinets, tables, and other furnishings. Vacuum a desk chair with a brush attachment. Sanitize the telephone and remote controls. And this is from realsample.com, which has a good checklist. Clean curtains, blinds, wash the windows, vacuum, use a disinfectant wipe. I mean, if you're going to work from home, you need to make sure that it's clean more often so that you don't get E. coli. Germs can spread, much like COVID. And speaking of COVID, how well is COVID doing in Nueces County? Oops. Sorry. Let's find out. 62,000 in Nueces County, 1,297. We're close to 1,300. 4.33 million cases in the state of Texas, 74,000 deaths. The tests have been positive, 8.8. We're close to 10%. Hospitalizations, we are at 13,089. 50,218 people have been hospitalized. Vaccinations, 64% have had at least one dose, and 54.8% have been fully vaccinated. So that's 15.8 million people, and 18.6 have had at least one dose. Schools. How is the Flower Bluff School District doing in its COVID? They update their spreadsheets every day. So, as for the first, they haven't given us an update, so let's check out the first. Well, there's nothing yet because they haven't updated the spreadsheets for the month, so we don't know what's going to happen. But in the meantime, while it's happening, you need to follow these good tips. If you're vaccinated, be careful. If you come across unvaccinated, you need to mask up. If you're gonna shake their hands, you need to make sure you have your hand sanitizer ready. If you have COVID, just get the vaccine. If your immune systems are weak, you gotta make sure that you get that booster shot. And there's a pill that's coming. If your kids are at 5 years old, waiting for school, talk to your kids about that vaccine. If you haven't got the vaccine, here's what you need to do. Wash your hands. Masks, very important. Very, very important for you to wear a mask. Like this. Not like this, or like this. Unacceptable. Has to be at the bridge of the nose. Social distance, 6 feet. Big issue here. It's a very big issue here which I don't even want to discuss. 6 feet or more. That's the bottom line here. If you're 3 feet, if the school says 3 feet, okay. Okay. Also, wash your hands. Hot water, 110 degrees. If you're in a fast food restaurant, you need to do the same. Disinfect your areas. If you're 2 years old, under 2, no masks. If you have a medical condition, just wear the mask and they'll probably help you out. If you tell me a medical condition, and you gotta wait outside and they'll help you out. We gotta make sure. And right now we are still at stage 2. But how is COVID gonna happen with 400 people? Keep in mind, not many people are vaccinated, so the question remains: how is it going? Are people gonna get COVID during this thing? We're not sure, but the answer will come when it comes. Tomorrow, on a very special Cut Me a Break Friday, a live broadcast from outside the Hornet Stadium as the regional championship begins. We're going to look at how they handle the clear back policy. We're going to also talk with the officers. We're going to talk with the chief. I'm going to have a talk with the fans and see how everything's going to be going. And possibly talk with Tyler Bills. We'll see what happens. That's tomorrow. That's Friday, which is tomorrow, on this very special Cut Me a Break. And that's all for this edition of Cut Me a Break Wednesday going to Thursday. We'll see you again for Cut Me a Break for a special, and a reminder, we'll see you again for a special Cut Me a Break Friday night, live from the Hornet Stadium as the regional championship begins. Good night, everyone.